Traditionally, there aren't a lot of mechanisms available to somebody who wants to investigate, like really investigate the bots on their application. What you would see in traditional tools is essentially just volume and endpoints. We blocked 1 million requests on this endpoint or across your entire application. There have been 10 million blocked requests in the last day. When you only have the variable of volume, then you only have two interesting data points you can talk about. You can talk about anomalies, like was it suddenly big, and you can talk about trends. Did it go up or did it go down? But really, what's important is not how many things are blocked on your site, but like which of those things have the same set of characteristics, and what are those specific profiles doing? So an analogy I like to talk about is tracking outbreaks in the medical community. It's not interesting how many patients are in the hospital at this moment or even over time when you're tracking outbreaks. What's interesting is how many of the patients share the same set of characteristics or symptoms with other patients at the same time. What we basically built is a tool that allows you to do that for bots. We're now able to show you these blocked requests have the same set of characteristics as these other blocked requests, and that way you can track trends of individual attackers and what they're doing on your site over time, rather than just saying that the total amount of bots go up or down in the last week. Sometimes it can be difficult, or at least time consuming, to really tell what is the bot doing? Why do I see all of these requests on this page? And then a typical question might be, why do I see this increase in traffic on this page? And then the first answer to that might be, well, we saw a bot attack on that page. Then the next question would be why is there a bot attack on that page? What are they doing? The analyst in many cases will try to isolate the good and malicious traffic from the other good and malicious traffic at the same time to make sure they're looking at exactly the unique thing that caused this anomaly they're investigating, and that in itself can take hours, sometimes even days. As an example, let's say an easy case where you do see a large spike in malicious traffic on your web application. You still need to be able to isolate the new request that caused that spike from, let's say, the background noise that's always on your application. Attack Profiles is automatically processing, analyzing this data over time, comparing all of this data to most recent and historical activity on your application to precisely isolate which requests belong to this new thread and which requests are the ones that you're used to seeing. Attack Profiles is basically giving them a button to click that will just instantly give them that information, allowing them to immediately hone in on these isolated requests and focus their investigation from the first second. Once we're breaking things down in the profiles, we can start to see exactly what each bot is doing. Yes, you have bots on every page of your application, but this specific bot perhaps is only going to these 5 web pages and only coming on some frequency. But what we've also built is a set of investigation tools on top of this. So now that you're able to isolate which requests specifically belong to one attack, there's a lot of other interesting data points we can look at that previously weren't interesting when you look at the complete body of malicious requests on your site. For example, we can show the distribution of various data points of this profile versus human traffic at the same time. As an example might be user agents and devices, where with human traffic, generally we expect to see most humans using the most recent and up-to-date devices and browsers, and slowly tail off as we get to older devices and browsers, and then a long tail of people on very old or very out-of-date browsers. Sophisticated bots may actually use this same set of user agents and browsers, or at least spoof using them. But when looked at in aggregate, you can see that the distribution does not match or align with human curves, and you can see anomalously that this bot's using the exact same number of requests from every single user agent. If you tried to look at this data without attack profiles, you would just see a large ocean of noise and it wouldn't be able to distinguish such obvious patterns. We provide tools and investigation tools into all of the interesting data points to allow you to kind of compare this profile's traffic versus the human traffic at the same time. This allows investigators to save hours, or in many cases do something that was just so tedious it wasn't practical. Now they can do it in one click and immediately have investigation at their fingertips down to the individual request level.